Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ghost Rider Vlog number 3. So this week's episode is for Marvel Spotlight number 7. Once again, to the cover. A little bit more interesting this time. We've got Ghost Rider racing into place and zapping Hellfire at the figure of Curly with a sword in his hands. I'd say that's pretty accurate. The robed figure that he's knocking over, however, is not very accurate, but for the most part, for a cover, that does kind of state what will happen near the end of this episode. The basic story for this one is essentially this. Roxanne was rendered unconscious at the end of the last episode, but we did not get to see what happened to her yet. Curly, Roxanne's father actually being Crash Simpson, was leaning over her with a knife trying to kill her. However, Satan orders that she should be sacrificed in order to help aid in the disconnection between her and Johnny. So Curly, aka Crash Simpson, is forced to have to hide her away in a barrel and take the barrel and Roxanne out of the building and keep her until the next night where he can sacrifice her at midnight. Throughout the next day, we have a nice little scene with the Ghost Rider taking a nap in the graveyard until morning, and Johnny is left on his own to try and figure out what's going on. They have figured out that Roxanne's gone missing but can't seem to find her. Johnny does have the rest of the show on his own for the daytime, and when he's done with the show, he finds out the man with curly hair, aka Curly, is an obvious person to be looked at, since also that particular gang of bikers attacked Roxanne the previous night. So he goes and attacks the biker gang at their homestead because he had been there once before and starts asking for answers. They don't really know what to tell him outside the fact that apparently once in a while Curly does go to this really weird church a couple blocks down the road. He goes there and finds the Church of Satan, quote-unquote, and manages to crash in just in time to stop the sacrifice. However, this does not stop Satan himself from appearing, and then forcing Curly to become his true form of Crash Simpson, and telling him to finish off the sacrificing of both Johnny and Roxanne in order to gain immortality for the rest of his life. And that more or less is where it ends. So, good things, bad things. Good thing. Finally less wordy, and finally we've stopped with the constant repeat of the origin story for this particular episode. Bad thing. It does kind of get lully, and we got some other new guy named Slad, or something like that. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's a big old beefy faced guy, and apparently he's interested in Roxanne now too, and it just seems kind of pointless to add in someone else who might be trying to get in on the love triangle needlessly. And also, it also seems a little bit silly story-wise to be able to only sacrifice Roxanne during the midnight hour, but, you know, Satan's picky, I guess. There are limitations, supposedly, I would assume, so that's the preferred hour. So, story gets a little bit silly at points. The artwork is still freaking fantastic, and other than the few silly little points, most of the story runs pretty smoothly, and we finally do get the big reveal for the main characters as to who this Curly guy is. So that finally ends that little tangent, and hopefully in the next couple episodes we'll have an end to Curly and the whole Crash Simpson story here. Can't wait to find out how this is going to end. I have assumptions, but I can't say for sure right now. So, general final thoughts on it. Story has some little silly parts, but the writing is still pretty good otherwise, other than, again, a few silly elements that just are kind of there to help pad out the book for a couple more pages to fill the quota, you know. The art is still fantastic for its time, and it's still keeping me on the edge of my seat. I can't wait till to the next book, which I will wait actually until tomorrow. I figure 3 books is enough for tonight. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next vlog. Good night.